In this video, I want to show you how to set up a Hydrojet cleaning system for your drain or sewer. In this video, I am using a pressure washer. I would suggest a gas-powered one like this. This is a pretty basic model, but it has enough pressure to really clean the pipes. Some 1/4 inch or 3/8 pressure line, multiple jets to clean with, a valve, and a pressure gauge is handy. So to begin with, I would suggest setting up your pressure washer with quick disconnects, both for the water hose size and for your pressure line as well. You could use either a 1/4 inch or 3/8 inch disconnect. I would suggest a 3/8 inch disconnect just because it's less pressure loss through the fittings. Here are both a 1/4 inch and a 3/8 inch hose. So for the 1/4 inch, these typically come with a male fitting that is 1/4 inch MPT, and it typically goes from 1/4 inch MPT to the 1/4 inch quick disconnects. So this is a 1/4 inch quick disconnect, and this is what all of your nozzles typically are, just a little 1/4 inch right there, quick disconnect. So this fits in like this, and then it's good. For the 3/8 hose, it typically uses 3/8 inch NPT as well as the 3/8 quick disconnects. It's the same type of quick disconnect, but it's just a much larger size. You can see this is the 1/4 inch female and this is the 3/8 male, so obviously a lot bigger. But to be compatible with both sizes, I would suggest setting up as much as you can with the 3/8. So coming off the pressure washer, I have a 3/8 quick disconnect, so that if I'm using this 3/8 hose, I could connect it like this, straight in. Or if I'm using my 1/4 inch, I also have a 3/8 male fitting that I could also connect like that. Coming straight off the pressure washer, I have a valve here, so you can obviously turn the water off and on coming from the pressure washer. So this is 3/8 on both sides, so it's easy to use. So I'm just going to hook it up like this. Now that that's connected, I'm going to hook up either my 3/8 or 1/4 inch hose. Doesn't matter. Hook this up. This is the 1/4 inch hose, but this way, once it's connected, you just turn the water off and on like this when you need to, instead of having to try to use your wand or gun to try to control the water. This is the 1/4 inch, so I have it going straight to a 1/4 inch quick connect. So this is where I could connect the nozzles directly. So I have all of these nozzles right here. So these can be bought off Amazon. They're different styles. So we have a mushroom type. So this has backward facing nozzles coming out right here, but also a forward one. So it can use propulsion to continue feeding on the line, but then this is also feeding water straight out the end. Here's another mushroom one. Basically the same thing, except there's not as many. There's like 6 backward facing holes on this one and only 3 on this one, but still a leading hole. And this is a continuously rotating one. So this is 3 little holes on this little bushing piece, and this is constantly spinning. So this is pretty sweet. And then on this one, we have no forward facing hole, but we do have 3 rear facing holes and 1 side facing holes to hit the direct side wall of the pipe or drain. And then I find to be the best one is a turbo nozzle. So this has a little slightly rotating hole right here, so it spins rapidly and creates basically a very large nozzle. But it's only like a 0-degree nozzle right here, but because it's spinning so fast, it's basically a huge circle of water coming out. So very powerful right here. This is meant to connect so that this faces backwards, so this basically feeds itself into the line because it's propelling itself. And you could rotate the line like this to kind of move around where the nozzle is hitting. So that's the 1/4 line. If I'm using the 3/8, it connects the exact same way. Here's the male right here for the 3/8. I'm going to connect it like that. And then here's my other end. You're kind of limited here unless you want to get more adapters. So if you pick the 3/8, you're basically stuck using a 3/8 system. So you could still use these same turbo nozzles. This is actually 2 pieces. This is a quick connector piece right here, and then this is the nozzle that's threaded onto the end of it. So this is still a 1/4 inch MPT right here. But you could get a quick connect that goes from a 3/8 male quick connect to a 1/4 inch MPT. And so instead of this being 1/4 inch right here, this would be 3/8. So a 3/8 quick connect to a 1/4 inch MPT, which will thread straight into this piece right here. And it'd be the exact same thing, except it would just be used on the larger hose like that. Here is the larger 3/8 quick connect. You can see size comparison is a lot bigger. And so this one connects directly to the 3/8 hose like this. The benefit of the 3/8 hose is it's a lot stiffer and it's a lot more durable. So if you need to rotate this, you can whip it rapidly and you'll be able to spin this thing. Whereas there's a ton of flex in this 1/4 inch hose, and the hose itself is very compliant. So this will actually, hose will expand a lot under pressure. And so even when you turn off the water, it'll continue to kind of shrink back to size and squeeze out water. Whereas this 3/8 hose is a lot stiffer and there's basically no compliance. So as soon as you kill the water, there's no built up pressure inside of the pipe or inside of the hose. And the gauge will just give you an idea of how much pressure loss you have all the way to the end of the pipe. So this is a 3/8 quick disconnect, so I could really only use it with my 3/8 hose if without putting in adapters for the 1/4 inch hole. But to see how much pressure loss you're losing through the length of hose, you'll just connect it like this and then connect your fitting. Then you could just read the pressure to see how much pressure you're actually getting at the nozzle versus right at the supply. So there will be a pressure drop going from the supply line all the way to the end right here. It's not much. I actually tested the difference between the 3/8 and the 1/4 inch hose, and there's not much pressure loss difference. And this is a 100-foot 1/4 inch hose, and this is just a 50-foot 3/8 hose. Also, these little things are actually Coke bottle caps. I put this on here because there needs to be a guard to stop this from releasing the quick disconnect, because obviously this releases by this pressing back, and so if this is feeding into the pipe like this, it's likely to be released and then you've lost your nozzle. So to fix that, I have these little Coke bottle lids with a hole drilled through them, so it's really tight fitting around this quick connect fitting, and I pressed it up all the way to the hex part right here. So this feeds on like this. So I press this, set this on, and release this till it clicks into place. And now as this feeds into the pipe like this, it'll skip right over and it won't be able to catch this female part of the quick disconnect and release your bit. So just a quick tip to help you from losing your bits. So once you've chosen a system, whether 3/8 or 1/4 inch or both or a mix of both, it's pretty easy to actually use these tools. So I'm going to connect, or I'll just use this for demonstration. So to start off with, after I have everything connected just like this, I have the water hose connected to the pressure washer, and I have the valve connected, and then the hose connected after that, and then finally my nozzle. I'm going to feed it into the pipe. There'll be an elbow coming out of the ground, so you'll feed this in directly into the elbow like that and let it go as far as you can. And because these 3/8 are stiffer, you have more leeway to just kind of manually feed it into the pipe without it getting bound up. So you can actually press on this quite a bit and continue to push it, where this 1/4 inch hose will just collapse. So you have to be running water to be able to feed the 1/4 inch. But anyways, once you have either the 1/4 inch or 3/8 in hose in as far as you can and you can't push it anymore, then you can turn on the water, and the backward facing nozzle will help feed it in. And I would suggest getting a sewer camera to map out how far the blockage is if you're cleaning out roots or a trouble spot. That way you know exactly how much to feed this in to let this really sit and work the clog loose or get the roots out. If you're doing a general cleaning, then it's not so important. Then you would just slowly let this feed in and let it sit. Move it a little bit, a couple inches, let it sit a little more, and then after a while turn off the water. Because it's blowing water backwards, it needs to drain, so you need to turn off the water and let it drain so you can continue. And also, one little tip is, for something with low pressure like this, you're not going to be able to clean out the pipe if there are roots blocking it nearly as well as an actual snake. This is meant more for the last little bit of cleaning after you've cleaned it out with a snake or some root killer, because this doesn't have the pressure or flow to really blast them away. That kind of system costs more like 5 or 10 grand and requires special setup and large engines to be able to drive that kind of pressure. This kind of system for residential use is mainly it'll be able to clean all of your pipes to get all of the gunk buildup for sure, but it won't be able to actually abrade and mechanically remove the roots. If you really want to cut the roots as a pre-treatment before using the Hydrojet, I would definitely suggest using an actual snake with sharpened snake cutting bits. This will definitely cut through roots in any residential system. I've used this up to 4-inch pipes and have not found anything that this can't cut, as long as they're sharpened, of course. And this is a basic consumer grade machine, so that like Home Depot and Amazon. So I would definitely suggest using this over the Hydrojet system if you have really invasive root system and you're cutting them for the first time. And that is how to set up a basic Hydrojet system and basic instructions on how to use it. Thanks for watching.